I've stated on a previous video on this channel that I was a pretty shy kid growing up. And as a result of that, I really dreaded public speaking. I remember getting up in front of my classmates and feeling my heart racing because I was just so afraid that I was gonna mess up and embarrass myself. Fast forward to today, and my public speaking skills have actually greatly improved. I've done several professional presentations throughout my career now, and I've gotten compliments on pretty much every single one of them. So how did I go from a shy kid who was tripping over his words to someone who's regularly able to confidently present in front of a room full of people? For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Tyler Warlow and I go by The Mengineer. I make videos on how to improve your life through your confidence, capabilities, and overall happiness. In today's video, I'm gonna be giving y'all some tips that you can start implementing immediately and start seeing improvements in your ability to do public speaking. Be sure to stick around until the end of the video because that tip is of course going to be the most important one. But if this sounds interesting to you, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to join me along in this self-improvement journey. One of the first things that I learned that helped me improve my public speaking skills was actually reframing my mindset around it. Even though I'm much better at presenting nowadays, I actually still feel the exact same way as I used to. Whenever I get in front of a room of people, I can feel my heart rate going up and I can start feeling a little bit of sweat and maybe even a little bit of nervousness. However, I went about changing my mindset from I'm nervous to I'm excited. Your body's reaction to nervousness and excitement is actually really similar. In both cases, you're gonna start feeling your heart rate increase. Your eyes are going to dilate to help you increase your focus, and the adrenaline is gonna start coursing through your veins. However, the key difference between nervousness and excitement, in my opinion, is whether or not you are making the choice to participate in the activity. If you're being forced to do something that you really don't want to do, of course, it's going to present itself as fear or nervousness. You're going to have a negative association with whatever it is, like public speaking. However, if you're the one choosing to do this activity, then your body is more going to interpret that as something that you should be excited about. This is something that you've been looking forward to. For instance, let's say you've been practicing for a race for the past 3 months. Your body is going to respond very similarly to when you were nervous for public speaking. But this time you're going to be excited because you are ready for this competition and you want to win. So again, the importance here is the difference in context. So let's apply this to public speaking. Before a presentation, you're gonna wanna let yourself know that no matter what happens during this presentation, you are going to be fine. Yeah, you might be a little bit embarrassed, you might have tripped up on a few words, but honestly, most people don't really notice that kind of stuff. And even if they do, physically, you're going to be perfectly all right. So just remind yourself that nothing about this is actually going to harm you and that you're gonna be able to make it through this on the other end. There are plenty of moments that I look back during presentations where I would mess up or stumble over some words, and looking back on those, it's actually pretty funny to think about. It helped give the crowd something to laugh at a little bit, and it just helped to loosen them up and maybe help them maintain their attention. So take it one step at a time, remind yourself that you're gonna be okay, and tell yourself that you are excited for this. Reframe your mindset from nervousness or fear to excitement, and that's going to help move you in the right direction. But changing your mindset isn't all that goes into this. One of the next things that I decided to work on implementing to improve my presentation skills was actually pumping myself up before a presentation. Some people might interpret this as a form of mindset, so do with that what you will. But I want you to do a quick exercise with me really quick. Think about different moods and different situations that you've been in. For instance, right before you were about to go take a test, or maybe right after you asked out the girl of your dreams and she said yes. Your body language and how you behaved in those moments are very different. So think about those moments again, and then think about how your body language was presenting itself. For me personally, whenever I find that I'm in a stressful situation, I have a tendency to close up and tense. This can almost give me an appearance of being angry because I have so much tension in my body. When I'm nervous, I have a tendency to slump over and make myself smaller because I don't really want to be noticed. But let's say I'm going out with some friends to do something we're all really excited for. In those instances, I have a tendency to be a little bit louder and make bigger movements with my body. So just like how your moods can affect how you are behaving, your behavior can affect your mood. So before you go to do a presentation, try to find a space where you can have a little bit of room to yourself. And you're going to try and find a pose that makes you think of a confident person. A lot of people like to do like a superhero pose where they stand up with their chest tall. There's other people that like to raise their hands in the air. Either way, whatever you view as a confident pose, go ahead and take that pose. Take a few moments to just be in this pose and hype yourself up. Tell yourself that you've got this, you're ready to take on the presentation, and that you're going to ace it. The whole time, kind of stay in this general pose. You can maybe do some movements that you might do to hype yourself up, but get your body moving and excited, because doing this with your body is going to help prime you and get your body and mind in an excited state for going out there and getting this presentation done. You're going to come across as more passionate while you're presenting, and it's just going to make you feel better about doing it in general. But what about you guys? What are some situations that you find that you need to hype yourself up for? And how do you do it? Let me know with a comment down below. I like to read and respond to all of them. Next up, when you're presenting, you're gonna wanna make sure that you keep it simple and relatable. One of the biggest mistakes that beginners tend to make while they're presenting is they just have a tendency to ramble on and give way more information than is really needed. This can result in an audience getting lost in what you're trying to say, or even growing bored because they don't really see the point. One of the key things that I was taught during my schooling was that you never really want to have more than a few bullet points with a few words on a slide at a time. And if you can add some nice, simple, and clean graphics, that's going to be even better, because you want to keep everything condensed and simple, because it helps to cement it in the audience's mind, because they remember those simple points. They're not going to remember the paragraph of text that you go through. In terms of making it more relatable, I always recommend incorporating stories into your presentations. These can be stories from other people or from you personally. In my opinion, some of the best stories are the ones that you've experienced yourself, because you're telling it from a true point of view. The audience tends to relate more with a speaker that is actually speaking to something that they've gone through and can tell that story in an emotionally captivating way. It's a reason why I give a lot of examples in my YouTube videos, is because I know not everyone can necessarily relate to the topic that I'm talking about. So if I can give as many examples of when these things happen in real life, then it might relate to someone and they might get something out of it. Being relatable makes the audience want to get to know you more and also learn more about what it is you're talking about. Next up, we're gonna talk a little bit more about body language. So earlier we spoke about how moving your body can help get you into the right mood, but also how your body language comes across can affect the audience. This is another classic beginner's mistake. A lot of times when people haven't learned their presentation that well, they don't make really good eye contact with the audience. On top of that, if people are just feeling nervous, they have a tendency to move their body or fidget or kind of close up in a way. The audience does see this body language, and unfortunately, it can cause you to come across as being nervous or scared, or in the cases of like not making proper eye contact, it may make you seem less genuine in what you're presenting. A couple tips to fix this are, if you are having trouble looking around the room and making eye contact with individual people, talk to a friend beforehand and see if you can just bring your gaze back to them sometimes. The audience doesn't have to feel like you're making eye contact with each individual person, but it's good to make it feel like you're making eye contact with someone. So if it's a friend that you have out there, try to come back and bring your gaze back to them every once in a while, and it will help you to feel a little bit more comfortable. Next, you're gonna wanna make sure that you don't make your stuff come across as too scripted and rehearsed, because again, that might seem just disingenuous to your audience or boring. Instead, when you're presenting on a subject, talk to the audience like you would as if you were talking to a friend. This is a lot like what I try to do with my YouTube videos. I try to describe subjects to y'all in the same way that I would describe them if one of my friends asked me to explain the subject to them. This can help you avoid being monotone and also give you a little bit more of a natural cadence to how you're talking. This is going to help your audience to connect with you a little bit more than if you had just been speaking at them. Now, I told y'all that I was going to be saving the most important tip for the end, and so here it is. To get better at public speaking, you're really going to have to practice. You can only truly get better at something by doing it. You also want to talk to people and get a feeling for what it is that you did well versus what you didn't do well. This is why high school and college was really helpful for me to help me develop my public speaking skills. Because in college, being a part of the engineering program that I was a part of, I very commonly had to do group presentations. And in these instances, the professors would try to just tear you apart. So you had to be confident in what you were presenting on and also be able to stand up to the professors and their questioning. The first time that you do it, it's going to feel terrifying. But as you get used to that feeling and kind of start to get on a roll with the type of vibe that you'll be in with these different types of public speaking events, then you're going to get better at it. You can see this in a lot of large YouTubers and their early videos. Go to one of their first videos, watch it, and watch their newest video and see how different they are. It's gonna be very rare that someone was just good at what they were talking about from the get-go. So hopefully that gives y'all a little bit more confidence to get out there and try some public speaking. Maybe find some things where you can just practice and not worry about messing up. I know people who get together as friends and they present to their friends, and so that way their friends can give them any feedback before they do their actual presentation. This gives you a place to practice without the fear of failure in front of a lot of people. But that's gonna bring us to the end of today's video, y'all. Hopefully you found the information in this video to be helpful and informative. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to join me along in this self-improvement journey. If you have any of your own thoughts, ideas, or opinions on this subject, please let me know with a comment down below. If you're interested in more of my topics where I talk about confidence and self-presentation, be sure to check out this video right here where I talk about a quick and easy way to style your hair. If you're interested in some of my most recent videos, be sure to check out that video right here. But until the next time, this is the Mengineer, signing off.